Chris Classic dropping a couch vlog. Hope you guys and gals are having a great day. If nobody tells you, remember that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. I'm praying for you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the Taking Home podcast where I talk about professional wrestling topics. And I'll put in my matches as Classic Alpha, professional wrestler of 13 years. Lord willing, I will be wrestling for 14. 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. Make sure you subscribe to the Taking Home podcast where I talk about professional wrestling topics. And I put in my matches as Classic Alpha. I'm hearing my baby. Hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. Kids going crazy and stuff. So kids going crazy, not my dog going crazy. But make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. That is me and my wife's professional wrestling company. 7 years in the game. We are definitely grateful. Get your tickets for Big Business, February 21st, Dyer, Indiana. Harold's private venue. Tickets are on sale now on Eventbrite. $5 off, but there'll be $5 more at the door. Also, May 23rd will be our 20th show. Tickets will be on sale for that show eventually. Can't wait for all the debuts and the matches and everything. But like everything that happens at Big Business, it all affects everything going forward after that. So whatever happens at Big Business, it will obviously affect 20. 20 will also be at Harold's private venue. Also, February 21st, after you see me guys wrestle in the afternoon for Big Business, I'm going straight to Griffith, Indiana. And I'll be wrestling for Backbreaker Wrestling Presents Double Down. I'm going against Johnny Blasphemy, so make sure you guys get the tickets for that. Robert Brown in the building, Lafayette, Indiana in the building, man. What's going on, man? I wanted to talk about two things, and I felt like this would be the perfect time. We're going to talk about Cody Rhodes. I call him Cody Rhodes. Some people call him Cody. Some people call him Dusty's son. Some people call him Gold Dust brother, Dustin Rhodes' brother. Some people call him Cody Raheem Rhodes. Now, Cody did a promo last night. Yep, that's his name. Cody did a promo last night, and basically he said, Roman and CM Punk is going to have a you-know-what measuring contest, and he got to find his way to get to WrestleMania and stuff like that, and they don't call him Raheem for nothing. So he got a crowd. The crowd popped, and the crowd laughed. He could have said anything. I honestly think he could have said, they don't call me Cody Bananas for nothing. Like, that's just because people love Cody. And it don't matter. Cody could have said any name. Cody, they don't call me Penelope for nothing. And then people are like, hey, why are they calling them Penelope? They'll look it up. So a lot of us know, because I've spoken about this a couple times, that, ever since Cody did that promo in AEW, where he was feuding with Anthony Ogogo, and basically they was trying to make Anthony Ogogo kind of have like a foreign, un-American take to America. And like, I don't like being here in America and I'm here on a visa and stuff. But low-key, Anthony Ogogo was like speaking facts. It wasn't like he was wrong and stuff like that. So Cody, the American Nightmare, he's making sure the flag don't get disrespected and all of that stuff. He did this promo where he talked about the American way, talked about Tony and his dad, Shad, and how his dad was doing stuff for the bumper companies and all of that stuff, the American way. He also talked about having a black and a white daughter that made people cringe. That was very, very cringe. I understood what he was trying to do. So a lot of people have always cracked jokes about Cody is trying to save racism. The problem was that storyline sucked. Also, Cody won it, and Anthony Ogogo, he went a go-go somewhere else. Like I think he's on ROH now with Sean Taylor and them. But still, it was like, Anthony was right with what he was saying with certain things. Now, we can't criticize that, okay, well, you're here in America talking bad about America, but you can definitely go back. But still. So after that, some people was calling him Cody Raheem Rhodes. There's that picture of him with a cigar and a fur coat on, and like they put like double images of Brandy because it's his wife, and they had like the letters. I remember the Master P and the Silk the Shocker and the old like some of the older Hot Boys albums with the diamondized letters. They said like Cody Rhodes, make them say like they've had a whole bunch of stuff about that. Fast forward to WWE. A lot of people invite him to the cookout and stuff. Like even then, they was putting pictures of him with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and stuff like that. They made him seem like he was a staple of Black history because of what he said. And he kind of regrets saying it because he said like he could have said something a lot better. So still, what's going on? What's going on? Cody Bananas don't hit the same, but people would have cheered because they like Cody Rhodes. Like Cena has said some cringeworthy stuff before, and people just reacted because it's John Cena. Obviously, Raheem hits better, but still, a lot of people have been very critical and talked about Black culture and everything with Cody Rhodes and stuff like that. So some people have been calling him Cody Raheem Rhodes. Some people have invited him to the cookout because of his stance on certain things and issues that Black Americans go through and stuff, and listening to his wife and also having his child, or 2 children now, and stuff like that. A lot of people have said certain things about him, and they've said stuff like Cody Raheem Rhodes. Now, he's calling himself Raheem during Black History Month, though. Like that, they've been calling this man this for about 2-3 years, and the timing is it makes you go, things to make you go, It's make you go, like dang, you're just acknowledging that people call you Cody Raheem Rhodes, and even then, some people don't even like that he's invited to the cookout. Me, I don't do these cookout invites. I don't do none of that stuff. I understand it's like jokes. Sometimes it's lighthearted, but sometimes it is a serious situation. I remember Trick Williams invited him to the cookout. He was like, hey, you want to go to the cookout? And then Cody was chilling with Jay. Now, Jay is not Black, but still, that's another video. But still, a lot of people's talking about it. I'm sorry, y'all. But still, nah, Jay, I believe he's full Samoan. I could be wrong. I don't know about his mother, but I do believe that. But still, people say, I'm sorry, y'all. It could go, this video can go a million ways, and I'm trying to stay a certain way. What else, SMP? He might be, I don't know, but a lot of people, they get mad at Jay. They get mad at a lot of the Samoans because they say they take away Black culture and they use it and then they can be utilized. Like, I'm not here saying that. That's what a lot of people say. I get what they're saying, but at the same time, sometimes people I get what they're saying, and sometimes people just be like in their feelings when it comes to it. I'm sorry, I got a text. It's just a horrible time. But anyway, we're gonna go through this. But still, they have some brother in them. And maybe, like I said, culture and stereotypes, it's a thin line between the two. And honestly, emotions and honestly merit is like things that go in between it. So am I bothered that he called himself Raheem? No, not at all. I mean, a lot of people have called him that, and it's crack jokes and stuff like that. And I think it's lighthearted. I don't think it's as serious as people are going to make it out to be. I do know that people went to Twitter and they talked about it and stuff like that. And like I said, it don't really bother me much. I prefer him to be called by his real name. On top of, Dusty, his father, who basically stole the flow of Thunderbolt Patterson, who was a Hall of Famer. And even Cody said it. Cody said his daddy stole his whole flow, basically. He stole his flow from Thunderbolt Patterson. If you look at promos from Thunderbolt Patterson, you'll hear, and then people will be so quick that if you become the more popular person, they'll be like, oh, well, this person is copying the popular person. No. Sometimes the person who did it first may not get the credit that they deserve. But shout out to Cody for even admitting that his father basically took his flow, right? We've seen certain things where Black wrestlers or things that are deemed as Black culture is taken and used to elevate other people. John Cena is a perfect example. John Cena could rap, right? And he can freestyle. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, how dare he just do this? But, calling himself the doctor of thugonomics and with the throwbacks and with the t-shirts and stuff like that, that's something in a lot of people's black culture with the throwback to Michelin S's and the fitteds and the lids and all of that stuff and, the throwbacks and rapping and all of that. And my thing is, they obviously used that to elevate John Cena to being where he is now, which is a Hall of Famer. So, and people be like, well, maybe somebody black couldn't do that, which is so horrible to say because R-Truth could literally been a main eventer if they wanted him to be a main eventer. R-Truth in TNA, NWA TNA. When you were talking about the conspiracy and the Little Jimmy stuff in WWE, that stuff was going on in TNA as well, right? And he was a 2-time champion because of that. Because it definitely could work. Dusty's style is definitely it's from black culture. Dusty's style was from black culture. How he said stuff, and don't get me wrong, he could probably have some of that within his swag, right? I don't have nothing against that. But when you sound like word for word, bar for bar, what somebody is saying, that does become a problem, right? We can sit here, we can people talk about Hogan. Oh, Hogan took from superstar Billy Graham, or Ric Flair stole from the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. We can talk about that because these people elevated something that was already at the top and kind of peak, right? So we can say the same thing when it comes to Dusty and Thunderbolt Patterson. We can say the same thing when it comes to wrestlers that rap or have black culture or just black period, and somebody does it. These are things to think about. John Cena's career, Hall of Famer and stuff like that. I got the shirt. I actually got the shirt, and I'm not crapping on John Cena or nothing. Hold on, I'm not crapping on like John Cena or anything like that. But to me, this just shows how much stuff we can be influential and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, even with R-Truth, right? And even if, yes, sir. Even with like R-Truth, you could look at that stuff and it's still entertaining and we still like it. Ron Killers wasn't doing a little. He wasn't doing a little. I'm saying the conspiracy stuff. Like when he was saying it was a conspiracy in WWE, he low key did that in TNA. He didn't do the Little Jimmy stuff, right? Honestly, yeah, I agree with you on that. I was just talking about the conspiracy stuff. I lumped it in together because Ricky Steamboat was like the GM or something like that in TNA. And R-Truth was like, look, you didn't get any opportunities because how you was and your ethnicity and stuff like that. And that low-key helped R-Truth become a 2-time NWA champion. So that's what I mean. But still, even if you want to say black wrestlers are stereotyped to be something, people still love them most part and like it. Crime Time. People love Crime Time. Stereotypical. Stealing stuff, do-rags, grills, bulletproof vests, Timbos, dancing, Brooklyn, bringing it, we're bringing the hood. Shout out to them, rest in peace, Chad Gaspar. But still, people still wanted them to be tag champions because they liked them. They loved these guys. These guys could wrestle. They had charisma and everything. And at one point, they was teaming with John Cena for a weekend or so. Then they just disbanded them for whatever reason. So that's my take on it. When people be like, oh, okay, well, maybe we couldn't do something with that. I call bullcrap with it. He started in 2010, 2011. Yeah. Rey Mysterio, Eddie Vibe catapulted from hip-hop. Yes and no. I mean, with Ray's music, who's that jumping out the sky? R-E-Y Mysterio. Like, even now, the current landscape of theme songs is a lot of people have rap songs. It's not just black wrestlers and stuff. A lot of people have rap songs. AW, a lot of people have rap songs and things like that. So even with that just says something. I just hate the preconceived notion that black wrestlers can't get over with black culture or things that represent black culture in a positive way. And I say that as it's a thin line. I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the Filthy Animals stuff that they was doing in WCW with Master P, where Master P was there with like Big Swole and all of these guys, and they was like teaming with Ray and all that? Yeah, that was some stuff, and it got booed. People loved the Cowboys and the I Hate Rap. Hey, that song was fire, but still, when we look at these kind of things, what's his name? Braun Strowman, he literally had a statement said, get these hands. Now, a lot of us know that, like, if we in school, we at work and say, man, you don't want these hands, come get these hands. We standing outside and we boxing. So somebody could definitely said that and marketed it just as much as Braun did, because Braun was already a believable guy because of the monstrous size that he has, right? So still, even with that, not upset with those kind of things. Cody, I'm not saying they took it, but hip hop culture. Yeah, hip hop culture has influenced a lot of stuff. NWO basically was influenced by NWA. Eazy-E, Cube, Yella, Dre. They was influenced by them. The hats and how they did the stuff, the black stuff, and the font of the NWO was in an influence from NWA. Come on, man. What we doing here? What are we doing here? So it's like, it's a lot of black influence. And my problem is, I'm not upset with black influence. I'm more upset with the lack of black folks using the black influence that they most likely grew up with. That's all I'm saying about the situation. I feel about the situation. It's like, okay, cool. A lot of black culture, you can make a lot of money, but y'all act like y'all don't want to make a lot of money with black men. This is why I like Oba, Trick, and Javon. I like that they're even here at the same time, and hopefully all three of the men can elevate. If you can have a group called The Shield, and all three of those men can elevate. Not saying that these guys got to be grouped together, but if they can elevate around the same time, y'all can definitely do the same. Am I expecting it? It's WWE, man. It's WWE. It is definitely WWE. I ain't trying to say it to be negative. I'm just telling the truth. It's just WWE. It's WWE. But still, that's my biggest thing from it. Cody saying this stuff in Black History Month is funny and stuff like that. It's not something that I'm like losing sleep over and stuff like that. But still, I do think that is kind of funny that he's saying Raheem during February, because Sheldon, he could have been boosted more. Sheldon just needed a good manager, and they didn't give him one at a good time. And then when he got one at MVP with the Hurt Business and stuff like that, they wanted to disband them. The credibility of them, they was just through the roof. So still, what up, sir? What up? So still, that's how I feel. And you guys know, I don't like coming on here speaking about colorism and black stuff and all of that stuff unless it's like facts. Now, if you do disagree with me, that's all fine and that's all love. But to me, when you do look at a Cena who basically Dr. Thugonomics, like a black wrestler couldn't have did that. I'm not even saying that they would have been as popular as John Cena or whatever like that, but still, people wanted to see it. R-Truth was literally saying, what's up, for almost 15 years. People over there, what's up? Y'all made him a comedy act, and he did a great job with it, and he did wonders. And then when y'all did act like y'all was teasing the main event something for him, he did good. Crime Time, good. A lot of these wrestlers, they did good in their roles, but y'all didn't give them what they needed. Y'all didn't give them the proper opportunity. How in the world can you say black culture and black stuff is multi-million-dollar business, maybe billion, but you're not even going to let the black folks who are part of the culture that created it or community that created it benefit off of it too? Come on, man. And Cody having the middle name or saying his name is Raheem, that's not nothing taken away from nothing. I don't take it as personal. I just think it's wild that's in February. But still, second part. Soul Ruca, right? Soul Ruca is black. And a lot of people that's a hard pill for people to swallow, that Soul Ruca is black. Like, they are like, no, she don't look black, so she's not black. Her skin color, and I'm trying to say it the nice way, it doesn't favor more of black. It favors more of a tan or a white person, right? But she black. And for some reason, people are like, no, she's not black because she basically doesn't look black. And then you look at her parents, her dad is black and her mom is white. She is black, y'all. And for some reason, people are upset with that. Like, she has went online talking about people are like, no, she's not black. She's white. No, she's black. And we say this. Most people say this. If you do have a black parent, you are black. Some will even go into times of saying, hey, if you are the seed of the father, so you are the seed of your father. Her dad is black. So if you want to use both of those examples, sure, she black. It's surprising, but light-skinned people can't be black. Come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Like, come on, man. Black folks can make almost any color. Like, literally can almost any color, right? Almost any color. From the darkest of dark to albino. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing with this situation, right? So the problem now is that people like to talk about somebody's black only if they look black or if they have some kind of melanin in their skin, which is horrible to me because you do have some people that can be the lightest of lights or whatever like that. And even mixed people, sometimes they embrace their black side, sometimes they embrace their white side. And I'm not even mad at that. Let me say that too. I want to be clear. I'm not mad if somebody says they embrace one side more than the other because maybe that's their upbringing, but most of all, that is their choice. Tiger Woods, you know, he accepted more of his Asian culture than the black culture. And I remember the black culture did not like that he said that and stuff like that because of how he looked. So people are like, okay, well, you're a black man in America and you deal with certain situations that we do. So you should embrace that. And he like, no, I'm going to just do that. He has every right to feel that way. He has every right to feel that way. And this goes back into thin line between stereotypes, culture. A thin line between stereotypes and culture. You know, you got to be careful with these kind of things, the kind of situations. I dealt with growing up, but both my parents are black. But since I was light skinned, they thought I know a lot of people that are light skinned that people like you got to be mixed with something. And then let's say if you have hair that is deemed good hair, you got to be mixed with something. Like you just can't. Like a comb goes straight through your hair. You have to be that bull crap. It's crap. But still, now the same people who are upset that Cody is saying Raheem, they upset because Soul is saying she's a black woman. And people are like, no, you not. How you gonna tell her what she not if she's showing you her parents and stuff like that? Because y'all want her to be a certain coach. I know she does other things. She like surf. She's very athletic. She has like other hobbies. Stereotypical that black people don't serve. You get what I'm saying? Like people dig themselves in a big hole. And that's the thing about a hole. It can either be filled with something or it can be filled with nothing, but it can still be deep. That's a bar right there. Take you through that. But still, it's like, is this what we doing? And honestly, WWE does a great job with showcasing her. I don't really care for her soul snatcher move. I mean, like I said, it's a lot of room for error. She's very, very talented. She's very cool. You know, she was at the end of the Royal Rumble and stuff like that. And maybe they'll elevate her and stuff like that. But they're elevating other black women too. Look at Jade. I mean, we just had Naomi, and then look at what happened. Naomi got pregnant and stuff like that. Naomi's a champion. Do wish she would defend the title, but let's not act like Jade ain't outside fighting and wrestling and doing segments and stuff. At least she's there. People need to stop putting black people in the box. They think black people can't surf or skateboard, but they do. There were several black surfers and skaters there in Rockers. I remember, was it a black dude? I think his last name was Campbell. The ghetto something. When I used to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, it was something Campbell, I believe. Like the ghetto bird or something like that. Like, I remember him because he was the only black skateboarder, but I wasn't like, well, black people don't skateboard. You know, some people do. But yeah, man, it's like people people move the goalposts when they try to prove a point and stuff like that. Like I said, you know, we can see it, we can talk about what's black culture and what's not black culture, what's stereotypical and what's not stereotypical. Even Cody, like some people are trying to say, oh, well, Cody's mom is Cuban, so she black. I know black. No, I know black. And it's just like, you know, I will say this, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys because I like being honest. Honestly, it's absolutely free. Sometimes it's a if you know thing. And when I say that, a lot of y'all know what I mean when I say if you know, you know. Like I said, without thinking, without criticizing certain things. You know, what's her name? Ronda Rousey said her grandfather black. And we like, all right, fam. Okay, sure. And, you know, not saying they ain't, but still, you know, Thomas Jefferson was a horrible president when he did certain things to certain slaves and stuff like that. To the fact that I know some people who are black as they got lineage all the way up to Thomas Jefferson. So still, it's just like, if you know, you know, right? So still, Cody can say who he wants to be as far as his Raheem or whatever like that. He could have said Penelope. He could have said anything, but Raheem goes way harder, sure. We'll see what he's going to continue to say in February. So Ruca is black. People got to get over that. But I did want to speak about that for a little bit. Like I said, this could definitely go a million other ways, right? Maybe if, in the comments, if it gets bigger than what it needs to be, we'll talk about it more. But what do you guys think? Talk about it in the comments. I'll be in the comments as well. I hope you guys and gals have a great day. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.